We are live on Facebook. And the first thing I do, first of all, how you doing, Sylvia?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm fine. Before we start, I just want to share the live link on my different platforms. I just like to be reminded. I like to be reminded that we are now live. Give me 1 second. Sylvia Queen Arrow. Guys, if you're already tuning in, share the link, share the link, share the link. Let people know that we are now live and we're talking gaming. And for those who don't know, gaming is actually a sport. Should I start with something as basic as that? Share live now. Live now. If you've already tuned in, share on your Facebook platform so that people know we're live. By the way, most people watch over the next 1 week. So those who watch live get to win Safaricom airtime. Those who watch live get to ask you live questions, especially if they are as green as I am. Live now. Aminushago, people, Aminushago, don't laugh at me. But this new COVID has really, because it's supposed to be a studio production. So I should have come back to Nairobi yesterday to do the show live in the studio, but because it is Zoom, I said, why don't I spend more time with my mama? And a few people have tuned in. LJ says tuned in. Christopher Mutsotso, watching from Ejinja Corner, Kakamega, Jambo Sana. Christopher, you're in Qatar, I know that. Odo Platinum, we good. Monica Wanjiko says, I am watching live and people are tuning in. So anyway, Sylvia, Queen Arrow Gaboni, welcome to Radull Live.
Thank you so much for having me, Carol. It's an honor. I've been a huge admirer of your work and what you're doing in the sports space.
I know what I'm doing, but I have no clue about gaming. And I confess, today I'm going to be schooled. And I'm putting it in your hands to be schooled. First of all, I'm still in Ushago. I need to make a disclaimer. If this link cuts, it means that power has gone. Here, it just takes a little drizzle and the elect goes for like 12 hours. Yeah, and one day I need to put solar so that I stop complaining about this thing. But Sylvia, first of all, Queen Arrow. This, I feel like I'm watching CSI Cyber or something. Where did the name Queen Arrow come from? And how did you get into gaming? Let's start there, from the very beginning.
Okay, so this is something I've been asked a lot and something I've answered, but because as you said, you're new to the space, so Queen Arrow is my gaming tag. In high school, I used to watch the CW series Arrow, and I'm sure some of your viewers have watched it. Mm-hmm. So, Arrow is based on Oliver Queen, and I was a huge fan of Oliver Queen, and he is a partner of the Black Canary. So I took his name, Queen, his last name Queen, and his pseudonym as Arrow, and came up with Queen Arrow.
Queen Arrow. And I've tried to at least Google you and see some of the things you do, and you're a heck of a fighter. So I guess the word arrow suits you. But how did you get into gaming? I mean, you're first of all, you're a lawyer, if I'm not wrong. Law to gaming, and how did you decide that's going to be a career? Because I know a lot of people who play, whether it's PlayStation or whatever, but it's for fun. How did you decide, you know what, this is going to get serious for me?
So how I decided to become a professional gamer is I have a background in gaming in that I've been playing video games like all my life. Mm-hmm. So I decided that now when in uni, I still had that passion for gaming that was burning, and I was using my downtime to like play games on my laptop. So I decided, let me see if there are any gaming tournaments in Nai. I found out there's the East African Gaming Convention back in 2017. I signed up. I signed up for the Mortal Kombat tournament, and I said, since I came in fourth at the end of it all, fourth out of I think around 15 to 20 people, I was like, this is going to be serious for me. Then I transitioned into Tekken.
And all this time you're in law school.
Yeah, I was in law school. Okay, when you're in university, you find that you have a lot of downtime outside of classes and studying. And, it's a lot of time that I felt that needed to be used constructively.
Mm-hmm. And your parents, because I'm assuming if you have traditional parents and maybe you don't, they're thinking, no, I want my girl to go past the bar, open a law firm and make us some money. And here she is sitting in front of a laptop. Playing. How easy was that transition to make? And did your family support it?
Okay, so my parents, my mom to be specific, she was like a little bit, I don't know, she was like, why are you doing this? What's this about? But I had to sell out the idea that I'm not wasting my time. And it's still something that occasionally I have to remind her, this is going to pay off one day. So don't worry that, don't worry, I'm not wasting my time. So now I think when she kind of got into the reality is when BBC Africa contacted me wanting to do an interview about gaming in Kenya.
Mm.
Then she was like, okay, it's that serious. It's that serious. So she was like, fine, you go do what you want to do. You have
BBC
my
wants to
support.
interview you. Surely it must be serious.
Sorry?
She saw that the BBC wants to interview you. So clearly,
Yeah.
it's not child's play.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, then even last year, now with the interviews with CNN, then earlier this year with France 24, that's when I think reality is like hitting her like, and yeah, she's not playing. Like, Silva has not come to play.
Let me send a few shout outs as we go along. Hilda Chepto tuned in. Hilda is your manager, or what does she do?
Yeah, she helps me manage my career because there's some things like I'm really busy with. Like for the past 6 weeks I've been busy doing my judicial attachment. So sometimes I have issues like handling my gaming career at the same time handling law. Because I even sometimes forget to answer my emails if it's something important. So she handles that, the finer details of that, and also tries to get me gigs.
Yeah, most people know Hilda here because she participates in our Monday night show. She's a Liverpool fan, and may Liverpool continue to lose, Hilda. But yeah, she's also a sports journalist. Ochi Wada says, today I'm here for lessons because most of these are football fans. Min Blessing is watching live from Abu Dhabi. Kipchumba Ngetich says, watching this from Kitale, home courtesy of my daughter Hilda Chepto. Oh, this is Hilda's dad. He always tunes in. Thank you, Chumba. Ngesti Dunga says, for a long time, the society has perceived gaming as an idler's activity or for people who don't know what to do with their life, or that gaming is a preserve of the wealthy due to the high cost of consoles and games. Or a long time, the society has perceived gaming as an idler's activity. Oh, I think he repeated himself without knowing. What's your response to that?
It's actually true because I think he got that from my interview with the Nation, which was published yesterday.
Yeah,
and it's something that I'm trying to, break down. Like, I'm trying to do away with that perception that it's for idlers or people who are gambling or, something that's the preserve of the wealthy. This is because actually smartphones are the future of Africa, for us to create a proper industry that's, sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
I know consoles tend to be expensive. Also, high-end gaming PCs, they're really expensive and out of touch of the realities of many Kenyans or Africans. So the smartphone is what's going to pave the way to the future with games such as Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG. Because I know a lot of my friends play those games, and a lot of them are really into it, and they want to actually participate in professional gaming through smartphones.
Now that in your defense, there are people who even say that all sports are for idlers, that get a real job. Sports people are always told to get real jobs, And yet, sports, whether it's football, whether it's rugby, whether it's gaming, um, internationally, it pays well. I mean, what are some of the figures people can win in the competitions, and how much money? You don't have to give me exact figures, but I'm assuming you've made some money from gaming.
Yes, I have. Though to be fair, actually, not all of it comes from gaming tournaments. Some of it also comes from, I'm also a gaming influencer since I not to blow toot my own horn, but I'm actually well regarded in the space as an influencer.
Blow your horn,
And some
girl. You've earned it, man. Blow your horn.
toot. Anyway, that aside, yeah, I have made like let's say more than $1,000 US. That's to say like more than 100K. I won't give you the exact figure, and that's from cumulatively tournaments and influencer gigs and consultations.
So as you build your career, of course, you'll make more and more. And then you also get,
Yeah,
because I saw somewhere that you were signed. I don't know if you still are signed to them. But I had to write everything down.
yeah.
As gamers, you were scouted at a tournament. Tell us about how you were scouted at a tournament and then signed up.
Okay, so I've been sent to three different esports teams. My very first team was Exit Gaming. They're based in New Jersey in the United States. So they were thinking of expanding their branch to the African region. Then they Googled gaming in Africa and the Tekken 254, sorry, the Tekken tournaments in Africa. Then one of the first results that came up was the Tekken 254 circuit. Then they reached out to the organizers, then they gave them a list of names. Then as fate wanted it to happen, they decided to go with me. So I was really surprised because, the team I wasn't really a big contender. I was still learning the final ropes of Tekken, but I decided like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Who knows where it's going to take me? So I just went with it, and these people really helped me understand Tekken and become a much better competitor.
For people like me, what is Tekken?
Just before I get to that, currently I'm signed to UYU. They're still based in the US, and they're one of the best esports teams out there. Like some of the, they've signed some of the best Tekken talent. And now to answer your question, Tekken 7, it's a game by a fighting game by Bandai Namco. It's I think one of the best and most difficult fighting games out there. It's a 3D game with a roster of, I think, 45 plus characters. So it's up to you to choose the character you want to be playing with. And now, why it's a serious game, it's because, there's so much to learn, like how to move, like movement in game, punishing, and how to, punishment of certain moves and how to react and not to react in certain situations.
So it needs a lot of concentration and intelligence.
Yeah.
It's not just a game. It's not these things we used to play on our phones.
Yeah, it's you really like. There are some people who I know who've been playing the game for 10 plus years. Some of the big contenders in the Tekken world, they've been playing for a really long time since like Tekken 3, and they're still learning. So that's how deep the game is.
And what's where do things like PlayStation come in and all that stuff and FIFA? Where do they come in this whole getting into pro gaming thing? Because and do you play those games? Do you play the FIFA games? Do you make money on them?
Okay, I'm not a professional FIFA player. I do have the game on PlayStation, but that one I've left to my brothers. I'm just a casual for only.
For us amateurs.
No, yeah, I'm not clowning on anyone who plays FIFA, but I've just left it. Let me stay in my lane. Kila mtu na lane yake. So yeah, I just gave up on the FIFA because it's just not a struggle. Then okay, a console that is to play, say PlayStation, Xbox, or if you want gaming PC, it's an investment because you'll need a platform to specialize, to play a game on and to perfect your craft. So I'd say it's a worthwhile investment, especially if you're looking into getting into programming.
Mm-hmm. I want to take you a bit back. When you were talking about the people you're assigned to, what does that mean? What do they do for you?
So what they do for me is they've given me a platform to build my brand upon. Not to mention that I work as a content creator currently. So I create content surrounding, Tekken, since that's the game I play professionally. And they also, I'd say, sponsors usually pay out, tournament fees, and in return they expect the best out of you. It's not they're just doing it out of, I'd say, the goodness of their heart. It's, scratch my back, I scratch yours. And I'm sure that's what usually happens in the football world, like with Arsenal and Barcelona, just to mention a few.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they're also trying to grow the sport, esport in the region.
Yeah, that's also part of it, because Africa, as I said, it's a hugely overlooked whatever region. And all I know is that I want to be part of the reason why esports is a thing in Africa.
Okay, let me just read a few comments here. Shout out from Winnie Richards Madikizela, friend of mine. Uaya Kad says he's tuned in. Ochiweda says big up to Hilda Chepto. Hilda is known in these streets of ours. Eh? John Kalochi, my pal watching from Dubai, says he's inspired already. Ustad, Ras Sokelo Kimathi, he says he's also watching from Dubai. All these are football people, but it's good to see them here learning. Santos Saluda, today my Dubai family have checked in. He says, good to see parents adapting to reality. And yeah, that takes a lot. One thing I want to talk about is the fact that you are the first female pro in Kenya. So that must have taken, and how old are you? You're 22? Are you 22 now?
Yeah, I'm currently 22. I turned 23 in July.
Oh, happy birthday for July. But and yet you're still the first female player. How many male players are there? And what would you like to tell your female compatriots who probably just think this is not for them?
What I'd like to tell other females who are looking into getting into this space, like just do it. If you really want to become make a career out of esports, this is the place for you. But I'm going to also give a bit of a disclaimer. You have to have thick skin, because being a male-dominated industry, you're going to have challenges. But just know that there's a community that's here for you, that's willing to help you grow.
There's Queen Arrow, who has set the tone.
Sorry?
And there's you, who has set the tone for other women.
Yes, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to make sure that all those doors are broken down.
Actually, I saw a statement you put, I think, on your Instagram yesterday, saying, you guys, in fact, let me read it. You refer to your Nation article, and then you say, to the clowns who think I'm here, I'm here because I happen to have a pair of X chromosomes. Stay mad. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to become one of the greatest Tekken players from the African region. I'm going to knock those doors down, rest, and do it all over again. Watch this space. How many hours a day do you have to spend doing this to perfect your craft?
I usually make a point out before the judicial attachment to keep this in mind. But since I'm done, I make a point of putting in at least 8 hours a day. That's 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 in the evening to at least perfect. And it's not just staying in front of the screen playing. I also look up, YouTube videos that will help me get better, because people create content, as I said, surrounding the game, and some of it is usually helpful in understanding your character better and how to understand the finer fundamentals of Tekken.
Because it's an art. It's an art, and it's combat, but it's an art.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'd consider it an art. Like, it's not easy, and you have to keep
practicing.
You have to keep growing, and you have to keep getting better.
Let me bring it home now and talk about whether Kenya has, because you seem to be operating sort of as an individual. Does Kenya have, is this recognized as a government? Does the government recognize esports? Do you have a federation? Because it is a sport. It's a sport. Who looks out for you in terms of the Kenya government structure?
Oh, okay. The jokes write themselves, but yeah, the jokes are writing themselves, kind of. But Okay, yes, we do have a federation, but I'm not going to speak much about it because I might become a bit political. So I'd say at the end of the day, we are kind of running as a, we're running as our own kind of whatever community at the end of the day. I
You're on
haven't
your
seen
own.
any, sorry?
So you're on your own. Nobody recognizes you, so to speak.
Yeah, the government hasn't done anything in terms of recognition, and I really hope that changes because I really want us participating in the big international tournaments.
I keep saying with sport in this country, we keep complaining about things like unemployment and all these things. And yet I always feel that if the government just sorts out the sport industry, the potential for employment, because I'm sure there are people out there who just need a nudge or a network to get into some of these sports, including esport. It may not be cheap, but there's a game like golf, for instance. People are always saying it's a rich man's sport, but they don't realize that the most successful golfers in this country were caddies. They're actually people who worked as caddies and they trained in that manner. And then half the guys who win trophies started off as caddies. But you need the facilitation of the government. You need somebody saying, you know what, I'm going to give you a leg up. Football is lucky, they just need a field, which they still don't get. But yeah. But doesn't it frustrate you that this industry could be so much bigger?
It does. Like, I think of this every day, like how the potential is there, but as long as things keep operating in the old way, we're just going to keep talking about the potential. And this is even a discussion that that was had on Twitter by Sheila Burgeon. You even showed me that tweet, and I told you that I'd managed to see it. Like, I think people are just living on esports, and even the government itself doesn't realize the gold mine that they have here and how we can ease so many of the issues that are harming us as young people, like unemployment and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I mean, a couple of years ago, nobody had phones. Now everybody has a phone. Are there some of these things you can start on a phone, or do you need to have a laptop, or you need to have proper gadgets? I mean, is there a way for somebody sitting at home right now with their smartphone saying, you know what, I want to get into esports, where do I start?
Yes, as I said earlier, the smartphone is the way forward for someone who may not have access to a console or a gaming PC. If you have that smartphone and you're into PUBG, into Call of Duty Mobile, into Legends of Runeterra, get that, download the game and start. And if you really want to get into FIFA and you don't have a console, there are gaming cafes that are out there, Trick Gaming, Bulbul by Cheza. Those gaming cafes are all over in Nairobi. Just, you just have to pay like maybe 100, 200 shillings. And if it's within your budget, knock yourself out.
You never know where it's going to lead.
Yeah, because that's what I used to do before I got a console. Like, I'd go like once or twice a week to the CBD. I'd pay the fare, and then I'd go to Trick, and I'd go practice from there for like an hour and two. I'd meet up with my buddies, and they'd also help me understand some of the aspects of the game. Then I'd go home.
And it's affordable for somebody who's starting out.
It's as I said, it all depends on your budget. If it's something that you're willing to do, go ahead.
All right. What does the only company I know that actually gets involved in esporting is Radull. That's the only local company I know. Have you worked with them at all? Or do they get to
Yeah, I was helping them with the promotion of the Red Bull Campus Clutch for Valorant. But there are also other companies like Safaricom. I've worked with them on the Safaricom Mobile Challenge and on the Blaze Esports Tour. I participated and I won. And there's also Pro Series Gaming, there's Pro Gaming. These companies they're organizing our tournaments, and they don't get enough credit for that. And also Virtual Games HQ and GWA Studios that they came through during the pandemic. They're not getting enough credit for what they're doing. And also, I also mentioned them in the Standard Quality Gamers. We started organizing women-only tournaments.
So the women-only tournaments in Kenya?
Yeah, and it's also something I've been pushing for personally, because I know not every woman is comfortable, gaming it with the gaze of other men on her,
Mm-hmm.
as well as, I don't know. It's that scrutiny they're trying to avoid, and but they still want to participate in a space that they feel safe. And something that if it's going to get more women into esports until they get more comfortable, I'm all for it.
What would be your, and I think we're almost done with the interview, but I just need to ask you, what would be your ideal situation in Kenya for esports? Where would you like to see esports go, both for you as an individual, for women, um, based on what you have witnessed around the world when you've gone for those international tournaments?
What I'd really like the situation to be is that the cost of data should go down, the cost of internet, because that's also a factor why the industry might be held back. Because you have countries like India, like Airtel actually reduced the cost of data greatly.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually really helped in boosting the esports industry there. And also like maybe a reduction in the taxation regime right now is punitive, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd really like that the cost of taxes goes down, so that we have more companies willing to invest in the space.
Yeah.
Because now, if more companies are willing to invest, and they're even opening local manufacturing plants, we'll see also, I don't know, we'll just find that the cost of these machines will also go down.
Yeah, there's a question here. I think you partially answered it. Or Bimbo Wadachieng says, if you want to become an esports player, what do you need? How much investment do you need to make? And I think you kind of answered that. You said,
Yeah.
for starters, you can go to town, and it's like what? How much an hour? Like
Trick. I saw that during morning hours they charge 100 per hour for using their consoles for any game. Then as from 2 it's like around 180.
because demand goes up. Where is Trick? What is Trick? I don't even know what it is.
Trick is a gaming cafe. They have branches at Agro House. They have one at the Commonwealth, and there's another one on at Moyo Avenue.
Mm. Ngesti Dunga says, who exactly is a Tekken player? I don't know if that makes sense. I think anyone who wants to play Tekken.
Yeah, basically it's just that.
We don't even understand. For me, this is an introduction to esports, and I think we need to have a lot more conversations. I wish if it was not for COVID, we'd actually come and film you when you're doing what you're doing, so that we understand it a lot better. No Mutuma here just says he's enjoying the show. Rafa Lin says, good job, Sylvia. Mutiga Kori, greetings from Minnesota. These are Kenyans who are just here in Kiambu, and they like saying greetings from all these places. Don't worry, I see them every day. They're here from Mesopotamia and Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. There's a comment from Hilda, your manager. She says there's so much potential in gaming. It's a multi-million-dollar industry that we need to tap into. And for me, we're missing opportunities because, and correct me if I'm wrong, the value is to get in early, and we're already late as a country to get into gaming. If we want to get into gaming 10 years from now, that's when we'll be saying, you know what, we'll never get to the World Cup, so to speak, in quotes, whatever the biggest tournament is in the world, because we're sort of wasting time. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the fact that there's so much money to be made, but we're sleeping, you know?
I actually agree, because I think what's really holding us back as a country is, I think we're still trying to cling on to the old ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So as long as we keep trying to cling on to the old ways and then try bringing in new ideas into the mix, we're not going anywhere. We need to advance, at least try to progress with the world. And I think this is also a discussion I was having with my friend. I just said, fix the economy, everything else will follow. Fix the way we do business, fix the way we think about new ideas, and stop trying to clown on anybody who tries to change the things are done.
Yeah, which is our Kenyan way. Thank you very much. Um, Robert, Robert Bobby Bob, let me listen to today's interview. That's better and definitely easier. What is he saying? I'm not sure what he's, yeah, anyway, he's listening. Raima Jaka just wants me to know she's tuned in. All these are football people. That's why today they have no questions. We're green. We don't know what's going on. But I think, Sylvia, I won't keep you for much longer. I do hope that some of the suggestions you've made, airtime to go down, you know, all these things, the cost of being online and gadgets to be affordable. I mean, that's how you build an industry. But at some point, the government should come in and say, you know what, we're going to subsidize these things for some time. Let people familiarize themselves with what esports is and what gaming is. And then when the sport is built, then you can throw your taxes at us. But when people are making money from it, you know, I think we never give a fair chance to new industry. And without new industry, we'll never create new jobs for me, you know, and new things for sports people to do. So I wish you the best, Sylvia. Do you have any parting words? Do you have any, do you play against men or you play against women when you play internationally? Is it women against women or
Both.
just characters against characters?
I play against, okay, I play against the players who are using the characters. So, and the people who are playing are both men and women.
So sometimes you don't even know if you're playing against a man or a woman.
Yeah, some of the tournaments are online, but other times you can travel to, let's say if I want to go to the US or South Africa, I meet these people in person, then we, both of us are in front of a screen playing.
Oh, so you know who you're playing against. What's the ultimate competition? Like for football, we have the FIFA World Cup. What's the ultimate competition for gamers?
Okay, it also depends on the game that's being played. For Tekken 7, the ultimate competition is the Tekken World Tour. It's usually held in the different countries. Even the developers of the game actually opened it up to Cote d'Ivoire and South Africa in a bid to start having more countries, African countries participating in it. But due to COVID, right now there's only one offline event that has resumed, and it's the We Play Ultimate Fighting League. They had Tekken 7 as one of the fighting games that was being held, and it's ongoing right now, and people really miss playing in offline events.
There's something I read in one of your articles that you also got into gaming because you like the fantasy world. Does that, I mean, what's that about?
These games and characters are, they're designed in a virtual / fantasy world, so they have their own stories. And I'm also a creative, so I really like pretending to be someone else for a time.
And if it pays the bills and you're having fun, you go, girl. That's all I can say. But thank you so much. I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me your time, Queen Arrow. I'll certainly keep a closer eye on what you're doing. Next time we'll see if we can come and actually see you in action. If there's a competition in Nairobi, let me know. We come and watch. Or you tell us we can log in or whatever it is, because I think all sports deserve a fair chance in this country, and esports is definitely the future. While we were sleeping, esports was developing, and we need to wake up, basically. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched, everyone who tuned in today. I hope you learned something. I certainly did. And go and follow Queen Arrow. What's your YouTube channel?
Just type in the Queen Arrow 98 on YouTube and also on Twitch. And also on Instagram, I also go by the Queen Arrow 98. Mm-hmm. On Twitter, I think I'll just type Queen Arrow, you'll find me there. I don't want to give you the exact articles, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Malika, I think Malika something. Anyway, so
yeah, Malika Sihemi.
Go to Queen Arrow on YouTube. Find out what she does. I've been tagging her Instagram a lot, so you can go and follow her on Instagram, see what she does, and get to learn a thing or two about gaming. Heck, you could be great at it and you don't even know. We all played those little games when we were much, much younger, and if we were serious, we could have developed into Queen Arrow. So thank you, my dear, and you take care. Have a lovely Saturday afternoon.
You too.
I mean, Ushago, the air is fresh, I can even smell a bit of cow dung. It's really nice. And then tomorrow back at the hell of Nairobi. But thanks for your time, and you take care. And thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great afternoon to everyone who tuned in.
And bye-bye.
Bye.